All right, let's talk about adding fractions together. There are more steps to adding fractions than there are to multiplying fractions. So I've come up with a list of the general 3 things that you should be doing. The first thing that you should be doing is making a common denominator. The second thing you should be doing is actually adding them together. And finally, you should always check and see if your fractions can reduce to lowest terms or not. So I'm going to show you how these 3 steps work. Hopefully you've seen them before, but in case you haven't, this is what this video is for. So if you come across a problem like 1/5 plus 2/3, you need to know that the denominators are the numbers below the fraction bar. So the 3 and the 5 are the denominators. And right now 3 and 5 are different numbers. In order to add fractions, we have to have the same number in the denominator. We're actually going to use what we learned about a giant 1 and the multiplicative identity to create common denominators. Okay? I want to multiply 1/5 by a giant 1 that's going to create a common denominator. I also want to multiply 2/3 by a giant 1 that's going to create the same common denominator. So in this case, it looks like if I choose 3/3 for my first giant 1, I'm going to get a 15 in my denominator. And if I choose a 5/5 for my second giant 1, I'm going to also get a 15 in the denominator. When I multiply these through, 1/5 times 3/3 gives me an answer of 3/15 plus 2/3 times 5/5 gives me an answer of 10/15. Okay, so we created a common denominator, and that common denominator is 15. When you're adding your fractions together, you only add the numerators, you do not add the denominators. So the 15 is going to stay, that's why we made it common, and the 13 is going to go on top. I got 13 from this 3 plus this 10 right here. So the answer to this problem is 13/15. And the next problem that I want to show you has one more step to it. It has that third step of reducing to lowest terms. But if we split this up and find our giant ones, I think it would probably be a good idea to use 12 as the common denominator, because we can just do 3 times 4 is 12. And that would make a common denominator. So for the 1/3, my multiplicative identity that I'm choosing is 4/4. For 5/12, since I don't really need to change anything, I'm just going to put a 1/1, because that leaves everything the way that it was. So 5/12 times 1/1 stays as 5/12. So this part's done. The second part right here, 1/3 times 4/4, gives me 4/12. And when I add these together, remember I add the tops and not the bottoms. So the 12 stays the same, but we have a 9 on top. So we could say that the answer is 9/12, but that is not in our lowest terms. It's not reduced. So just a little reminder on what we did in class for reducing fractions to lowest terms. We did a couple different methods, but one of them that I like the best is the prime factorization. The prime factorization of 9 is 3 times 3. The prime factorization of 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. I see that the top and the bottom have a 3 in common, and that is a giant 1. It's our multiplicative identity. So if we take that out of the equation, we are left with 3/2 times 2, which is just 3/4. So your final answer would be 3/4. Okay? I do know adding fractions takes a little bit longer than multiplying fractions together, but it's really important that you master this skill. So we've got your 6 practice problems right here. Take your time with them. Not all of them have to be reduced, but some of them can be. So do your best, and we'll check them tomorrow in class, and I will help you with anything that you still have questions with.